Hi, I'm Mary Maguire here with Her.ie, and we're here with Sonia O'Sullivan today for the launch of the Liberty Insurance GA National Coaching Conference in January. So, hi Sonia, how are you getting on today?
I'm good, thanks. Lovely
Great.
to be here.
Yeah, it's an honour to meet you now. So, ahead of the coaching conference, I suppose in January, you're going to be one of the main speakers on at the event, and you've a lot of experience from your own career and the last couple of years in coaching in particular. Is there any words of advice you can give to people for coaching and for developing?
I think with coaching, you always look at the athletes and, everyone wants to see a great athlete and see them perform, but behind every great athlete is a great coach. And, have a coaching conference enables you to, help to educate the coaches a bit more and to share with them lots of ideas. Like when I was an athlete traveling around, I had my coach in Ireland, but then you met other people and you learnt more things and you kind of came back with that.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point and you realise that you kind of need to move on to a new coach, and that's often a difficult thing for athletes to do.
Yeah.
So I think, to be able to go out there and to talk about that a bit more and say, listen, just like you have coaching levels and abilities, sometimes the coach has to let go of the athlete and let the athlete move on to the next level, and, you progress up through the coaches as well.
Yeah, and speaking of levels, I suppose you're, especially in a career with athletics and stuff, you generally start at a very young age, or you can come into it kind of later into the teenage years. Do you think there's been a drop in female participation at that age group?
Well, I think it's definitely a challenge for coaches to keep, the girls in sport. They have, I suppose, a lot of friends doing lots of other different things, and I suppose you have a lot of the peer pressure in secondary school. To it takes a bit of an effort to say, no, I can't go out, I'm going training. But I think the big thing is to create groups of athletes, and whether it's team sport or individual sport, you make it fun for the kids and that they want to continue doing it. And the training, whatever sport you're doing, it doesn't have to be your whole life. It can be balanced, especially at that age.
Looking back on your own fantastic career, from World Championships to Olympic Games and numerous records as well, you've become like a figurehead, I suppose, for women in sport in Ireland, like an inspiration to many. I know myself as well, a lot of young women and, across all age groups and all disciplines of sport would look up to you as a role model for all you've achieved down through the years and continue to achieve as well. What words would you give to someone, I suppose, who's starting out now, I suppose, from a young age, or maybe just wants to change their life a bit, as from a motivational point of view? Like, what words could you give going on everything? You've had some of a bit of a roller coaster ride some of the years, and how did you come to terms with that and keep going and keep the head up,
Yeah, I mean, I think, you always try and weigh things up and see, what do you enjoy doing the most, and, do you enjoy being happy or sad, and, the good times and the bad times, and, you always say, well, you have to take, the bad races with the good ones, and, I think if you have a bad race or, things don't go right, then you appreciate the good ones so much more, and you'll try so much harder, to go after them. But, the advice that you would give would be to, you have to persist a lot, and you have to set, realistic short-term goals as well as long-term goals, and you work gradually towards them. I just always think, well, one day I'm going to turn the corner one day and it's going to feel easy. And you just always had that thought in your mind, and then all of a sudden it would happen. But you just had to kind of say, okay, this could take a week, it could take 3 weeks, it might take, a month. But you just had to keep going, with the regular schedule each day. And, eventually the fitness would kind of build up and you'd be back feeling fantastic again. And, that good feeling is when you do what you're trying to do without thinking about it too much, or without it kind of being, I suppose it's not a chore. It's something that you really look forward to doing, and it doesn't matter if it's raining outside or if it's blowing a gale. Yeah. You're going out there because that's what you've set yourself to do for today.
Yeah. And do you think a lot of it is mentally as well, getting the mental attitude correct in terms of saying, I will go out, I will do this, or is a lot of it down to the mental attitude, not just necessarily the fitness and the diet and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, a huge amount is mental. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're able to kind of make a decision and, with yourself, I suppose, so you decide that this is what I'm going to do, or you make it, like normally I would go sit down on Sunday night and make a plan of what I'm going to do for the week, and depending on, you know, what work things I have to do, and where I'm going to be, I'll kind of make little notes in my diary of, you know, what kind of training I'm going to do, or, you know, where I can go for a run, or if I have to go to the gym or a pool, or if I can meet somebody for a bike ride. And, you know, you set up a little schedule for yourself, and that fits in with your normal day, or your normal day fits around that.
Yeah.
And the big thing that is very motivating for me is to agree to meet people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be every day, but, you know, a few days. And you want to feel good when you meet the people, so then you'll fill in the other days as well, you know,
Yeah.
to keep doing that.
Exactly. So there have been so many highlights over the years. Is there one in particular that stands out for you?
Well, I suppose the Olympic medal definitely is, you know, if someone said to me, can you show us a medal, I would always go for that first. And that's the one where I suppose I would always wonder where it is, or, you know, where I last left it. Because it's kind of really a culmination of so many years of work, and, you know, everybody's career every athlete's career, it's measured in Olympiads really. And, you know, you try so many times, it comes around once every 4 years. So that was my third attempt in Sydney, you know, so I think to get a medal was such a bonus, you know, to have something to show for 12 years work, not just, you know, the year leading into that.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. That's all we have time for here today. And Sonia will be with us in January for the Liberty Insurance GEA conference.